Frankie. Do it to it.
It's funny because I haven't came up with a proper name for the show, but pretty much what we're gonna do is watch one of your most iconic matches against NCV at Evo 2013, top 32 to get into top 8. That was your first top 8 for an Evo?
For Evo, yeah, pretty much, because Evo, it's like one of those things where it's like Evo, it wasn't an Evo main game, but if you're a Skullgirls player, Evo was Evo. It
Right.
was, to this day, I'm pretty sure it's the most entered. It was like 240, 250, I think. I can't remember the exact number. But
In
to this day,
2013?
yeah, 2013. It was, to this day, the most entered Skullgirls tournament, or the second. I can't remember. It's up there. It's one of the biggest, most entered Skullgirls tournaments of all time. And like at that time, that was the year that we lost to Melee in the poll.
Okay.
Not
To
the
become
poll,
a main
but
game, right?
yeah, the
It was
donation
like,
thing to become a main game. So they pretty much Evo pretty much were like, okay, we can't have you as a main game, but we'll make it so you guys get the secondary stage for top 8. And they publicized it to pretty much be like an Evo main game without it being an Evo main game. And I get that it's not, so all the purists or whatever are gonna be like, it doesn't count. But the Skullgirls players at the time, it definitely counted.
yeah, I mean, back then especially, there weren't that many tournaments that can compete with Evo in terms of just notoriety, right? Like nowadays, maybe Combo Breaker has that title, that they can claim that their tournaments mean more in certain games than Evo. But back then, I mean, it didn't matter what game you played or whether it was on the main stage. People were just gonna go to Evo to compete, and that was guaranteed pretty much to be the biggest tournament for the game.
Absolutely,
it didn't matter what it was. And I think, if I remember correctly, the poll was pretty close. Was it? It was between Melee and Skullgirls?
It was close for the longest time, and then right at the last second, it wasn't close, honestly.
Yeah,
but we made it like a thing for. We made it
weeks there.
Close, yeah. But in retrospect, I'm really glad we didn't.
Why?
Because I think the avenue that we went, best way for us to go, and I don't regret it at all. Like Combo Breaker became our event, and like honestly, Melee got like, I can't remember, but I think it got more than like 1,000 people or something like ridiculous.
Yeah,
it got
insane.
so many people.
Insanity.
Skullgirls, even if it was a main game, it would have not have gotten that many people. It wouldn't have even have gotten close. So like, it would have been not embarrassing, but it would have not have made sense.
Right.
Like it could have been. Yeah, it would have been like, my nightmare would be it's a main game and then Melee has a side event and the side event got more entrants than Skullgirls is a main game. That would have been a very realistic conclusion to that. So Melee deserved it. They got their sick little revival, and Skullgirls got their own revival in their own way, and Combo Breaker was amazing for us and still is amazing for us, and now we're working on our second revival with all of this, so
yeah.
I don't regret any of it, but Evo 2012 and 13 and 14 were really big years.
Is Skullgirls kind of in that state right now where it needs a revival, or it just needs a injection of adrenaline?
Definitely an injection for sure. That's a great way to put it, because like I'd say 2017, 2018 was when a lot of like the top players specifically were kind of just playing the game for so long and interested in playing other stuff. Sonic, they were focused on. Sonic's always been playing. They've always played a bunch of. But
yeah, absolutely.
Skullgirls has always been one of their staples, one of their favorites, and they were wanting to focus more on Dragon Ball, focus more on NRS. Sage wanted to focus on Marvel Infinite, wanted to focus on Dragon Ball. I wanted to play anything else but Skullgirls. I was not having a good time with the game at that point in time. I just had I was just burnt out. I just played it pretty much exclusively with a little third strike sprinkled on the side, like 6 years straight. I just needed to do something else. And
no,
so
I remember that.
Yeah, there's just
at that time you were part of a team, right? Like during that stretch where you were really playing Skullgirls heavy.
Yeah, Team CR, Critical Reaction, shout outs to them.
Yeah,
definitely great squad. But yeah, no, so we were just, everybody was kind of just burnt out, and there's plenty of other people, so it just kind of like numbers It wasn't just us. It was like mid-level and high-level and whatever level players too. Like numbers decreased instead of increased, and it's like just as weird as it is, this pandemic did kind of help get people back into the game because they're like, okay, I can't play other games because only like 4 games have good netcode.
Right. It's
Skullgirls is one of them, and I already played that for thousands and thousands of hours, so I might as well play it again. And you go, oh yeah, this game's really fun.
right. And then it helps, and it helps that all the little homies are like enjoying it, and they kind of need somebody to show them the ropes. I'm sure that gives you a little bit more energy too than if it was just you
Sure.
grinding away, right?
Yeah, there's so many players that have kept playing this whole time. There's new players getting into it, and with all the streams and Sage and Sonic, everybody's doing a really good job promoting the game right now, and it's going really well. So I can't wait for New York is going to be broken. New York's not even going to be fair. The locals here are going to be shark attacks.
It's usually like that. It's
For
good.
sure, for sure.
That's absolutely good.
I'm excited, but just yeah, the fact that you can do online events. I was streaming the other day, playing Skullgirls, and I played Boars. Mr. Boars, I think is his tag. He
Hmm.
lives in Russia, and like besides like 2 stutters,
It was
maybe
crispy.
it was fine. Like I was landing everything, he was landing everything. It was crazy. I was like, I didn't even know he was in Russia until someone told me after. I was like, what? It's crazy. I
Yeah.
can't play someone in Grand Blue down the street.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I can't play anybody in. Like I moved to Brooklyn recently. I can't play anybody in Third Strike that's outside of Brooklyn.
Yeah, I
Pretty
remember we
much.
tried playing Dragon Ball once, and we did like 5 games. You're like,
It
dude,
was like
forget
no,
it.
no,
This
no. Yeah, yeah,
sucks.
yeah.
We can't do it.
Oh shit. Yeah, I mean it's funny, right? That it takes something like this, something so dire, to get companies to look at themselves in the mirror.
Or Evo, yeah, and Evo Online, like as much as people, as much as there's like beef between like Evo and the Skullgirl scene, it can't be denied that this is a good thing for the game.
Yeah.
It's just helping put eyes on the game and
Mm-hmm.
helping people get into it. That can't be understated. So that's great for it too. It's just everything's just working out. So I'm really stoked to
Yeah.
keep going moving forward. Just as much as I am excited for Jazzy Circuit to be back online and going and
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, no matter what people want to argue, Evo is 99 times out of 100 going to be a net positive for whatever game they decide to run.
for
You
sure.
know, in any capacity, right? So I know of plenty of people personally who are getting into them's fighting herds, that would
Yep.
never touch the game before. And I just think that they're doing the best with what they got. And what we're going to have is 4 open tournaments with games that people don't know much about. And hopefully their top players can show out. It's just one giant ad for the game, and for the community. So I'm just hoping that everybody comes out and shows up, in whatever capacity they want, right? Like you're doing it in a different way. You might not enter, but at least you're helping people practice, right? Who might want to enter.
Absolutely. Yeah, no,
So
I'm definitely and I'm not like shunning people or whatever. Like if you want to enter, that's great. I just it has nothing to do with it being Evo Online. Just the idea of entering an online bracket with that many people,
yeah,
I would just
insane.
rather stay in bed.
Yeah, no, mental health now is super important, and
Yeah,
you got to
absolutely.
preserve your mental health, dude.
Absolutely. I just like the netcode's amazing, and it being an Evo Online is great. It just has it could be any person running that bracket with that size. I just don't know if I'd be able to handle it.
Yeah,
But
Evo 2020 is still up in the air. But we're going back in time. Evo 2013. Let's paint the picture, right? Evo 2013. These are your results in 2013, right? You got second at Winter Brawl, first at Civil War, first at East Coast Throwdown, second at CEO. Those are all East Coast tournaments, and that's pretty dominant, right? I mean, would you call that dominant? Did it feel dominant when you were playing? What was it
I
always
felt
like? I'm gonna win this shit every time you went up.
a little bit. I kind of felt like the man. It was pretty cool. It was at the time, um, yeah, it was pretty much. In 2013, we played the version called SDE, Slightly Different Edition, which is basically the second big build of the game.
All
Vanilla's
right.
over, and SDE is here. And SDE was pretty different, but not a lot different. Now the game is all about resets and scummy mix-ups and just messing your stuff up because how the combos work, they have to be shorter. Back then, you could pretty much just TOD anybody off of a touch.
Yeah, that's what it
So
looked
the
like.
so the game, yeah, the game was way more about just like TODing someone off of a touch. And I didn't really do that at all. I was playing current Skullgirls back in 2013. I went for a
Good guy.
TOD. Yeah, I went for TODs 3 times at Evo 2013, and I dropped it twice, and I landed it once. Just to give you an idea, the people who were in grand finals, they were TODing every hit that they got. And I
Right.
was out there just like, it doesn't matter if I'm not doing TODs, you can't block me.
Right.
Most people couldn't, so that was cool. But
Well,
um,
it's I mean, it's dope that a game can have that kind of variety, right? Because
oh,
you know,
absolutely,
TODs aren't for everyone.
no,
There's certain people who are more comfortable playing the mix-up game.
yeah. My
But
team had to do it a little more because me setting up the TOD was a little more difficult because I was just playing the duo of Parasol Double at the time,
hmm
and setting it up was really difficult and it was very meter reliant. But I could pretty much two-touch anyone anyway. Like I could just like do boom boom reset, boom kill them. That's kind of what I went for. While Bev, who was the other prominent Parasol double player at the time, who got second, she played Parasol Philia double, and Philia back then was just she just did as much damage as she wanted at any given time, and Parasol could just like do a combo in the corner, raw tag into Philia, and then Philia would just like do like all the work. They would just die. I didn't have that luxury. So
right.
I just played the duo. But yeah, no, 2013 was a really good time for me in terms of like results and playing the game a lot and having a good time with it because Civil War, Winter Brawl was and East Coast Throw. All three of those tournaments I TO'd myself
Well,
because it got to the
nobody
point.
wants to lose to the TO, man. Shit.
That's what I had to do because it was at a point where pretty much SDE was supposed to come out that summer and it didn't. It came out in like the winter.
Mm.
So a lot of the momentum that the game had during vanilla, which was a really good amount, definitely dwindled by a lot. So a lot of events, when I would go on check their forum post or check whatever, Skullgirls wouldn't be on there. I'd be
Mm.
like, well, damn, okay, so nobody's gonna run the game. I still want to play it. I PO'd at like Agfest when I was a kid, but I guess I gotta run Skullgirls tournaments. So